Hey, 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 y'all. Welcome again to another grown ass women shit. Sonia
Another,
Pastas Summer of Faith.
and
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 guess
it's
what?
getting hot out here, child. And it's getting hot.
Right. Well, it's still pretty nice. It was hot as hell in that room. You know. So this week is my turn again. And we talking about
Yes.
money. So I am ready.
Yes. So this is Pastel's favorite money show. And which one did you select as your favorite all time talking about that money show?
Well, I really had a hard time picking them, but I landed on Money Moves with Pies is a stock market and investment possibility for you. Now, with everything going on with inflation, gas prices, all this stuff going on with the money, everybody like, I ain't put my money in no stock market, but it may actually be a good time because you may get some stuff on sale. Telling y'all, you get a
Yep.
lot of stuff on sale. So we have some excellent guests coming on. One of our grown ass women shit alums,
Yes.
Melissa Quick,
Yes.
and
Yes.
my
Yes.
girl Nicole Norman Cobbs came on. She does a little bit of trading and options, so you don't want to miss it. These women are we've all been pretty much investing around the same time, so tune in and get some good tips. I'm telling you, invite your kids.
Exactly. Yes.
Invite your kids to this.
Yes, stay
All right.
tuned.
So
And just as a reminder, this is a replay, so all the dates do not apply. Next Wednesday, we will be replaying for you our Ask Your Daddy, favorite Ask Your Daddy episode. Both me and Pasta are going to be making that decision, so you cannot wait to see that one. And just a reminder, we are now live on Facebook and YouTube, so anybody that you know that wants to see it, that is not in the group, they can check us out on YouTube. So
see
stay
y'all later.
tuned, check us out. We'll be in the comments.
Fresh out the oven, straight to the bank. Ben's Hager smelling like dank. Seats, somebody died on them. Kitty looking like somebody cried on it. Ooh, what you looking at? What you looking at? Body like cinnamon roll. Icing on the top, if you got it, let's go.
Hey.
Hey.
We're back. It's another No Bra Wednesday. Hold up. Do I see titties hiked up down there, Melissa? I think Nicole got her titties hiked up too.
Uh-oh.
It
She
is
like,
a
you know what?
Bra Wednesday. Yeah, don't worry about it. I ain't gonna put you on the spot like that. But welcome. You can take it off.
I'm sitting here like,
right. How's she gonna do that? Right. How's she gonna do that? Right.
You know how to slick take off your bra. Anyway, welcome to another Money Moves with Paz edition of No Bra Wednesday, where today we are talking about is the stock market an investment possibility for you? Y'all know what I'm gonna say. But we got some hitters up in here, some familiar faces. Y'all gonna remember some people walking to Wakanda, but they will introduce themselves a little later. So I hope you all have your notebooks ready. I hope you will be asking questions in the chat. We are ready because you know this is one of my favorite topics. Anytime I talk about money, hello. Let's go.
Right.
So I'm gonna pass it on to Sonia so she can get us moving and grooving because we need to get into this conversation. Okay.
We ready.
Oh,
I
ain't say your whole name, Sonia, the sensuous certified sexologist.
Yes. Hello. Yes. You know, give me all my due. What? I work hard for that goddamn man. So yes, I am Sonia, the sensuous certified sexologist. And and I am our resident sexologist, helping you with all things sexy, all things sensuous, all things orgasm. We just talked about orgasm, y'all. It was so
powerful. That's orgasmic.
That's orgasmic, exactly.
Yes. But this week we're gonna be talking about that money. Just as a reminder, we go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for No Bra Wednesday, where we let our girls loose. Hello, and we say it with our breasts. Our next Wednesday on the 3rd, we will be doing Ask a Grown Ass Woman. And we are going to be talking about, are we loyal to a fault, Black women and relationships? So we're going to have a nice little conversation. Let y'all into the room or know, get ready. You got something to say about safety and what we need to be doing about that, So we'll be talking about that on the 3rd. Just as a reminder, every first Wednesday of the month is Ask a Grown Ass Woman, or it's Ask Your Daddy, because we alternate every other month. The second Wednesday, it is Cocktails with a Sexologist. And the fourth Wednesday, it is Money Moves with Paz. So, hello, so Paz going to be closing out the month. Also, you want to make sure you don't miss the next time we go live. Check out our link tree, because we have all the links for you. We have all the links to past shows, all the links for information, all the links that you'll need. So you want to make sure you actually use our link tree, and also go to our WhatsApp, because we drop the link there to let you know that we're live. And we also drop the link in the Facebook group and on the Facebook page. So follow us at all the places, including Instagram and TikTok, so that you can make sure you stay on top of what we're up to. So like Pastel said, it's all about the money and the investment and making that money multiply, which is, another form of sex. That's the money multiplying, and they're doing their thing. Oh. Yeah, what? Yeah, right, exactly. Our hoes out here creating more money for us. Yeah, stop being a hoe and start making your money be the hoe. Hello. So hello. Yes. You gonna write that down? Stop being a hoe.
Let me write that down.
Exactly. Yes. Because we got too much of a hustle mentality out here in these streets. We have some very powerful guests, and I cannot wait to hear their stories and just really be inspired on what's possible with investing. First, y'all recognize Miss Melissa. Melissa, remind them of who you are, because you've already told them several times. But yes, ma'am. Welcome back to the living room.
Hello, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I am Melissa, the creative directress. I miss my booze.
Yes.
I've been out here not hustling, but aligning my prosperity. It is not hustle, it is align.
Yes. Okay. I like that. Write that down too. I am aligning with my prosperity.
But yes, I'm happy to be here, especially for this topic. This journey has been amazing. I can't wait to get into it. And of course, it's always great to see my girl. It sounds real voyeuristic to say. I see how excited she gets. This is her sex talk. Plus.
Right. This is Pastel sex talk. Look at
exactly.
It's crazy right now, but it's all
exactly.
Good.
Yeah.
So you can always tie it in, because this shit could be real orgasmic if you do it right. I can tell y'all when I see all.
Don't get me started. I'm getting.
I see all green.
She get moist over there. She is getting moist. Do not get her hyped up. Okay.
But without further ado,
yes.
The next lady coming up is Miss Nichole, the beautiful Nichole.
Yes, Nichole, tell us who you are, ma'am.
I'm excited to be here. Well, I am a married mother of one. By day, I'm a certified information systems auditor, and my side job is the stock market.
Yeah.
So that's why I was invited here today.
You heard it here.
You heard it here. I know that's right.
All those is planned. Yeah.
They hiring. I wanna see if I can get hired. I want my part-time hustle to be the stock market as well.
And it can be.
And I'm listening. I got my notes. I got my pen, because we about to make this shit happen.
Right. So let's get it started. So I'm gonna ask the first question to both of the ladies. We can start with Nichole. How did you get started? How did you get started investing in the stock market?
Oh, as a part of this awesome investment club.
Tell them about it.
Pastel happened to be a part of the club. Yeah, we had a good group of people together who were just like-minded, and I believe it was the majority of our first time investing. So being a part of the club and having to be, answer to other folks, you're forced to kind of do some research and figure out what you're doing along the way. I think the plus for me is that I was co-treasurer. And so as a result, I would be the one, if not Pastel, to go in and make whatever changes based on the decisions that we made, which was nerve-wracking, but it was awesome because then, you got a chance to really see things happen,
Yeah.
So.
And we made some mistakes and we
made some mistakes, but I can honestly say while we had that group going on, I had my little Robinhood account on the side and I would make little mini moves while we were making the bigger moves with the group. And so unfortunately, the group disbanded. We're still good. We're still in contact. We still share each other's, triumphs.
Not everybody. Not everybody.
A lot of people, not everybody. Some of them hoes that fell off, but yes.
But no, as a result, I just became more and more interested in the stock market and started listening to podcasts and became a member of different Facebook groups. And, as I learned, I continued to build. So I can say that I have been in the stock market for about 2 years solid. After I gave up the Robinhood thing and said, let's get serious and see what we can do. And I can say it's been a journey. It's been fun. And, I'm always excited to share about it. So
yes.
All right.
Yeah. So we're right there.
Well, I had to invite somebody from the Genesis. And Melissa, I think we talked about it a lot. But if you start where I think you're going to start, you're going to have to go back. Go ahead. Where did you start?
So far back. We would literally have to go so far back because I remember talking about when cryptocurrency was big or about to be big, and kicking myself because I didn't hop on. Several conversations with Pastel about a few things that we would talk about and not move on, and the next thing you know, it was blowing up. Fast forward to my job changing from one brokerage to another, and I went on there and realized I knew nothing about what I was looking at. So I felt really out of control. And Investopedia was where I decided to go. And it gave me like a low-level education, and it was free. So I continued on. And then one of my students, and I don't think I shared this with you, Pa, she wasn't my student, but one of my teens. I used to deal with a lot of teens. I don't know if you guys remember Stephanie, but Stephanie Navardi came from a family without any financial awareness. And she stopped working at 27. She's 35 now. She's a little older than my son. And she basically lives off of her dividends. She has her small business going, but this is a young lady I talked to about lifting herself up and educating herself, and she done passed me. I was like, you know what? Hell no. I got on Facebook, and I found, I think my first big group was Stocks and Stilettos. And I connected with Cassandra, who was an amazing woman who started like these investment groups. Didn't go off as well as it could have, but she was a good person to know. She was doing what we were doing, just on another level. Just trying to connect everybody with the financial gain that we didn't learn in our younger years. I jumped in on a couple of investment groups. And then, of course, the conversation continued with Pa. As soon as you bring up money, it could turn into an hour-long
tutorial. You will get schooled.
Yeah. And it's just pursuing the education and not leaving it all on my company to do stuff. I had to learn the difference between being an investor and somebody that's doing trades. I had to understand my stock risk. So I started there, just wanting control of my financial situation, and wanting to airlift this thing. Like, you mean I could sit back and while I'm asleep, money's being made? It's been all my life. So that was my beginning. That was my beginning.
So I'll say where I started with mutual funds. probably back in about 15 years ago. Just putting a little bit of money in mutual funds, but never really did stocks until the investment group. The mutual funds just seemed easier, and I was like, well, that's what they told me to do. Let me just do that. That did fine, but when I discovered that I can invest in individual stocks by reading up on companies that I love and I use, regularly, having ownership in these companies, that shit is the bomb. And seeing where your account was 2 years ago, 5 years ago, and seeing where it is now. One of the groups I'm in, Mr. 10, he always says the stock market is set up for you to win. And I think what bothers me about a lot of us when we talk about making money, the stock market usually bottom on the list. We're talking about grinding, getting that bag, doing this, doing that, which requires effort. And like what Melissa just said, stock market requires little to no effort. I mean, we have these phones now, these wonderful phones where we can swipe and click, and I mean, you made a trade or bought something in a matter of seconds. So it's not like a lot of time out of life. And one of the things that I follow is the news. The news is a big predictor on what's about to go down. Unfortunately for me, there's a lot of stocks I can't invest in because of my job. But shoot, I mean, when Corona came and they had the vaccine,
right?
So you can think of all the things that are attached to that, and invest in those things. But that it's been a blessing. I mentioned earlier when we were talking that I'm at the point where I make my salary annually, due to my account. And Nichole, the one big reason I got Nichole on here, because my girl went into options. Something I do not do. But the brave soul. Yeah, the brave soul she's been, and Razia's, I was like, nah, Nichole doing very well with options. I'm like, okay, Nichole. So tell us what made you go in that route, because you're the one person who I'm like, okay, Nichole's doing it.
Right.
Honestly, it was one of the podcasts that I listened to. It's called The Wealthy Investor. And the gentleman's name is Tyrone Jackson, and he discusses selling cover calls based off of the shares that you already own. And then you take the profits from the cover calls and you purchase the shares that you're trying to build a position on. And so literally every week I'll go in, I'll sell a cover call option, take the profits from whatever that is, and then I'll buy.
Now you're going to have to tell people what a cover call option is. I'm sorry. We got, yeah.
You're right. Exactly. It makes sense. And
break it down.
I'm trying to see if I can do so. This is where Investopedia comes in to play, because honestly, I may not say it the correct way. An option is a derivative of a stock. Each option is worth 100 shares of the stock. So what you can do is you can go in my case, what I do is I buy at least 100 shares of whatever particular stock. I can then go out a week, 2 weeks, to however many months and sell a contract to where someone has the option to buy those stocks in the end. If the stock rises above whatever that price is, more than likely they're going to take the shares from me. If they don't take the shares, I can turn around and sell another contract. That's one aspect of it. I think that the options that you are probably talking about is the fact that I occasionally trade options.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, and that's the fun part. That's when you get happy. Like when I set up an options trade, and then you get the cha-ching on your phone, like, "Ooh, it went through, yay!"
That's feeling cha-ching messages.
Mm-hmm.
So on those, we'll call it volatility trading, an option. And I know one of the groups, Pastor, I think we both belong to, they really, really talk about options trading a lot.
Insider
trading.
Insider training.
Yes.
Trading. I mean, that
I
one.
do not do it the way they do, because like I said, I have a day job. So I go in once or maybe twice a week at the end of a trading day. I'll purchase maybe a 6-month out option, anticipating that it'll go up a lot of times overnight. And then you'll get that it's hit the number that you thought it was going to hit in the morning. And then that way you made your profit. And that can be anywhere from, depending on the stock, $100 to $500. You know, you have to do your research and figure out what it's going to be for you. And what you can afford to do until you build it up. Yeah.
That is the part that I really want to talk about.
Right.
You said afford.
Afford.
So
Right.
that's where your budgeting comes in.
That is
I
where your
mentioned in
budgeting
previous,
comes in, and I'm not going to say that is also where your margin comes in. And I'm not going to say use your margin, don't use it all up, but it's available to you to go ahead and turn a profit on.
Okay. And all of these terms, if y'all are writing them down, like we mentioned, Investopedia, it is the bomb. You can find whatever term you want in Investopedia. It is free. It is a wealth of knowledge on all things finance. It's not just about stock trading and investing. It is about all things finance. You can find, they have great articles. So that's a resource too.
They do have a paid component for some of the information, and it's worth it. Like there was a $9.99 course that basically had me taking my first leap. When you were talking about watching the news, I got that from Investopedia. And when Katrina happened, you could literally look and see who got the government contract to do all the repairs. See the truck in the background of the news. Went and looked at that truck, and sure enough, they had the government contract. And sure enough, I went and pulled the trigger on my very first big stock that day. They did pretty well.
How do y'all people?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Nichole. What'd you say, Nichole?
I was just gonna say, I like the fact that there are so many different ways to play the stock market. You know, you have to find your little niche and run with it.
Right, and it's a lot. I think it has a lot to do with your time.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're trading, you need specific times available. You know, to people who float in and float out. You know, I would say I invest, because even though I'm looking at it all the time, I'm just, I haven't pulled the trigger on options and all that. I probably could do it, but I just have not. The investments in solid companies has worked for me. You know, in our investment group, we did a lot of research on stocks. We use resources like Motley Fool. What else did we use, Nichole? What resources did you use?
Was there a Morningstar, I believe?
Morningstar. Yeah, Morningstar. What was the one with the ratings? They gave it Kramer's thing. It's Jim. If you watch, I think he's on is it CNBC? Yeah, Kramer. He has a show every day. Joel and Inside of Trading. That's a group on Facebook. He focuses on trading. He always recommends watching Kramer. And Kramer is crazy as shit. That shit crazy. But he gives you a lot to think about. You know, he gives you a lot of insight. He interviews heads of different companies if you're interested in certain companies. You know, it's a great resource as well. So how do you guys pick your stocks?
For me, it varies. Definitely watching the news. I'm pretty tech heavy because that's my profession, so I sort of watch tech trends. Um, Things that I use every day. Kroger was one that really gave me my education on supermarkets. Kroger was a seriously stable option compared to the other ones. When you look them up, it was easy to realize what they were talking about because I understood how Kroger works. I go to Kroger. Outside of that, probably the subscribing to Morningstar. Yahoo Finance isn't a bad one if you need to look.
Yes, I forgot about
Yahoo
that. I
Finance.
forgot about
That's one that I follow, and depending on the app that you download on your phone, they send you little tickers of what's going on. Robinhood has now introduced giving you IPO information. That's basically before the stock hits the stock market, you could get prepared to buy it, like it's about to go public. So that's good information. It's like, remember when Pinterest was just this board for creatives, and then they got their IPO. And you know, if you're using something regularly and you pay attention to the news about that company, you'll know when it's about to go public and when you can buy stock in something that you use regularly. Pinterest was an easy yes for me. My Pinterest board game is serious. So
Did you? Okay, so the IPO thing. I know for me with IPO, what is that? The initial public offering, IPO. I kind of wait. You know, I don't jump in immediately, because you know people get excited. If you all do, okay, I'll give y'all one that just came out. I think it's Donald Trump's social media. That
DWAC. Oh yeah, that yes.
DWAC is the ticker. That shit went crazy on day one, but now you see it jumped up, and now it went down. That would have been a great trade, you know, trade versus investment. But that's pretty normal with IPOs. So I just want to say that be careful with IPO offerings. I mean, but if you know, I did the same with y'all see what's going on with Snap right now with all of the fake Facebook shit.
Yep.
Facebook is you know how y'all get your phone and if you have an iPhone, they'll say can we monitor you for
right, exactly.
purchasing. You have to opt in or opt out. Everything is having a hit. So this is news that's just, I mean, this is regular news. You can watch this stuff on the Today Show every day. So if you get 30 minutes of news in, it should pique your interest in what's going on. Another one I watch, which is not a financial show, but it usually piques my interest, is Vice News. You ever watch that? No. Vice News is dope. It'll give you information about what's going on in the world versus just United States news. Right. So I got a few great stock picks just by saying, ooh, that's interesting what they're doing. Let me look it up, you know. So we have 24 people watching right now. The show that I was talking about is Jim Cramer. It's on CNBC. It's called Mad Money. It's called Mad Money. So please feel free to ask any questions in the chat. We are monitoring.
Yeah, and
I
am looking at the chat.
I'm gonna reset. We're almost at 8:30. This is Money Moves with Paz. Is the stock market an investment possibility for you? And I think everybody on this panel would say, hell yeah.
Well, and I think what I like, of course, that I'm hearing a couple of things. One is, you know, of course, I'm somebody that still needs to get started.
That's all right.
What I like is that one, it sounds like you'll be looking at the world differently, especially when you're looking at news and all that sort of stuff. And it sounds like you're listening for. So it's like being alert and saying, okay, how can I make money from that? How can that make me money? How can that news thing that just happened, possibly be a lead to making some additional money. So I like that. And then the thing that I was getting, especially as I'm listening as a newbie, is that, so I think that I know a lot of times the fear comes from, this is just something I'm not acquainted with, or that I'm not familiar with. But of course, it's just like anything, you're going to start getting used to it as you start doing it. And I know a lot of times we want to know all the information right up ahead of time and feel like you want to know all those terms. You want to know everything that you're doing, but it's not something that necessarily is going to happen right out the gate. It's going to require becoming familiar with it and actually using it. It's going to happen. It's going to require making the mistakes. Like you said, we made some mistakes. We lost some money. We did some things, but we
made some big mistakes.
But you learn, and then you learn how to do things better.
Still making mistakes. Melissa, no, I want to throw up every time I talk about this one stock. she called me one time. She was like,
she might cry.
I know you are happy right now because your stock, you've been fighting for this stock. In this one group, I was fighting for this one stock. Like, I'm telling y'all, it's gonna go up. And I'm a gut investor. So if I feel it strongly, I'm like, I don't care what nobody say. This particular time, the leader of the group
strangle her, y'all. Like she never goes against her instinct. And I don't
never go against my gut. But that time, I'm like, well, shoot, I'm a baby millionaire. This dude he got some more zeros than me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
right.
Hey, let me just sell it. I folded. I folded like a mother. I bought that stock at $250. That shit went to $68 a share. And Melissa called me
$2.50 to $60, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say.
$2.50 all the way up to $68. And what that taught me, I'm still getting a little nauseous.
Wasn't just her pain. I was disappointed in her.
Right.
She was like, what? She was like,
and though that
when you everybody has mentors. This was one of my money mentors. This is one of the people who are like, Paz, I've been investing all this time, blah, blah, blah. And I folded to that pressure. But if you believe in something, I don't care, because people talk about the balance sheets and all this stuff. I mean, that's great. And you have your instinct. And I have Melissa tell you, my instincts are usually solid. Once she'll be like, what should I mean? She buy it, that thing go boom.
Yeah.
So you gotta trust your intuition.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say, that sounds like that's also what's growing. So in addition to you growing your awareness about the industry and all that sort of stuff, and the terminology is learning yourself, learning how to listen to yourself, learning what your intuition sounds like, and then also you almost needed that to reinforce,
remind my ass.
Yes, right. Like who the fuck? Right, exactly. Because until then, there might be a little bit of like, I'm not sure. But now you're like, you know what? Let me stop playing with myself. Let me take myself differently.
In her defense, in this group, the precious fit, the investment conversation, he has one set way of doing it, and it's a million ways to do this game. It really is. But his primary focus is this one way. So there really wasn't much room. And then a lot of people kind of piled on. She still shouldn't have folded, but in her defense, I mean, I thought about it, but to your point, Sonia, about losing, one, you're never going to invest more than you can afford. And two, you could play the small game. You could learn on penny stocks.
Right.
You don't have to invest. And on Investopedia or some of these stock apps, they give you money to play with.
You can do TD Ameritrade Sink or Swim, where they'll give you $600,000. I was watching Dr. Omai. I love Dr. Omai. She's been on
we
here.
Just had her on as a guest.
Yeah, I love that
amazing.
woman. She's dope. But they'll give you $600,000 to play with. It ain't real money, but it'll get you in the mode of moving money around, the feeling, like right today in that same group. I still love that group, that we're talking about. I posted my gains, last week. this week I lost $4,000. So it can go. It teaches you not to trip, when certain things happen. Like, okay, well, I'll be back in there tomorrow. So it shifts your tolerance and your risk level. When you have those losses, you be like, well, I just got to get back on top of it, soon. And Nichole, why don't you talk about, I want to ask Nichole, can you talk about that day when you had a day, I don't know the day, but I know you've had a day when you have lost, how you handled it.
Oh my God.
Versus...
At first your feelings are really, really hurt. I'll say my feelings were hurt.
I'm sorry.
You're watching it go up and up and up like, ooh, and then all of a sudden it just sinks. Like, what happened? I was just up like 400%. But it also teaches you never know anything can happen in any environment. Yep. Change it around. It also it taught me not to be greedy. It was kind of like, when you got to 300, you should have cashed out. When you got to 1,000, you should have cashed out. And then you got sunk all the way back to zero. So that was an early mistake. Now I literally just set up the small wins. I set a certain amount I want to make a week. And it's like, if I surpass that, awesome. And if this is just talking about doing the trades. And if I don't, it's fine, because I might double it next week. On those losses, I kind of write it off as I'll do better next time. You just don't take it as seriously after a while. I can answer your question.
Yeah, you get it back.
You always know you're gonna make it back. Yeah,
you develop a thicker skin. Yeah. What'd you say, Melissa?
You definitely have to watch your emotional investment.
Right. And again, you mentioned don't be out here investing your rent money in the damn,
oh my goodness,
and your mortgage. This is the importance of budgeting. Please know what's going in and out. And if you have something extra, then you invest that. But don't take from the pot. You take from the overfill. I always say that. Take from your overflow. And as you mature and get your stomach together for investing, you will build more money to invest. It'll grow. But I love that Nichole said, don't be greedy. I mean, that's a gut move too. That's going against your gut too. Like, Lord, I know I need to take this money out, but just $5 more.
Right.
No.
Right. Right.
You don't need that damn $5 shit. Go on about your business. Go put it. And that's the other thing. You can use that money to invest. We're saying invest. It's a totally different thing with trading and investing. Investing is a long-term behavior. You're not going to be pinching off the money. If you're trying to pinch off the money and do that,
you ain't ready.
You're not ready. So the budgeting is super important. Don't invest more than you have. Put your money to work. That is so important to put. You're never going to be wealthy if you are working for your money. I will say that.
Right.
I could have never made the money just by me working. So even if you're not making as money as you want to, find a way to invest some money. So if it's giving up a cup of coffee a week, because you can invest $5.
Yeah,
you really can.
Can I point out something? When you shop, I specifically keep a Cash App card, because when I buy certain things and I change my boost amount, that goes to Bitcoin.
Okay.
I know that's
buys your Bitcoin.
Okay.
There's certain, so what is it, Stash? Stash has those reward stores. When you go in, they put money on your books, basically. So literally
did say put money on your books.
Put some money on my books, and then you go and set it up.
I would say, in addition to what you're saying, Melissa, I would say, even if you have to start out with $20 a paycheck and you get used to that coming out, and then you up it to 40, and then you get used to that, and you keep on going until you can reach an amount that you're comfortable with. That's basically what I did on Robinhood. It was every paycheck take $20, and at that time they didn't have fractional shares.
At all.
You have to wait until you build it up. Because I was in the investment group, so I was only giving up so much to Robinhood.
Right, we had a big price.
So I don't know if it's cheating, but it was certainly real ghetto of me to get my Robinhood up by having people sign up. You know, when you send it and you get a free stock.
Yeah,
That's all I did.
Whatever makes it.
Pimping that link.
Here, sign up here.
Like, I got a link, hold on.
Right, I did it a few times.
My daughter was too young to get it. I was like, dang. My mother come over, let me see your phone. You need a free stock.
What I like that you said about being able to invest from your overflow is that means you have to create an overflow. I mean, and so a lot of times for those of us or those that are still spending every dime you get or living way beyond your means, then it's not even possible to play this game.
That's the part.
So really it's going to require actually looking, like you said, budgeting, but also getting clear about what you don't have to do without, what you can do without, so that you can start taking that money and having it work for you. But you can't do that if you spend it every dime on a purse.
Yeah.
And it gets real, like I said, it gets real sexy. When you see that account growing, it get way sexier than the new shoes and that dress. I'm telling you, when you see that account and you click on it and you like, let me see my year's gains. God, I'm a bad mother.
When you're walking around and you're depreciating red bottoms versus watching that stock soar and you get some dividends from it, and y'all know I love my shoes. That's a whole other feeling that it does not compare to anything when you know I own a piece of it. I don't just own what they gave me. I own a piece of it.
Them red bottoms like low hanging fruit. So when you go and give up that low hanging fruit and actually go for that, right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's short term satisfaction.
Let me go to the chat and see what folks saying. Somebody said, I know nothing about the stock market and definitely want to learn. As a divorced woman, I want to become financially literate. Investopedia to that person. Really, you can start there. Also, shoot, I was supposed to find this couple. I'm gonna post it tomorrow. Okay. But this couple, they retired at 40, and all they maxed out their retirement. They both were working for the government. They maxed out their retirement TSPs. And they did dollar cost averaging. That's when you allocate a certain amount of money at a certain time of the month, and you purchase however much of whatever. They were investing in a total stock market index fund. In one of my groups, we invest in, we were talking about earlier, we invest in an S&P 500 index fund every month. That's the requirement to stay in a group. So that's a great way to start. That way it takes the stress out of which stock to pick. If you invest in the S&P 500, you're investing in 500 of the top stocks in the United States. So you own 500 stocks at one time if you buy that index fund. So that's a great way to start getting exposure to the stock market. Let's see. My problem is knowing when to let go of trade. Yeah. I don't know if anybody wants to take that.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
I mean, that goes back to don't be greedy and set up your good till cancel order. Because literally watching it go up and down, and it could get a little bit higher, then it just drops. Mm-hmm. Find out how to set up a good till cancel order so you don't have to watch it and just automatically.
Or stop loss.
Take your profit. Yeah. The stop loss thing is definitely an educational moment. For me, it's get out your feelings. This ain't really your thing. It's not yours to keep, especially if you're deciding to be a trader. If you bought it to keep it, then you're an investor. If you bought it to sell at its highest point, you're a trader. Get clear about what you're doing and then get rid of your emotional investment. Like I do have stocks I won't buy. Like I won't buy anything related to the prison system. Morally, I just can't do that.
We had that rule in the group.
There are things out there, and I'll try to find a link where you can discover the type of investor you are. They ask you those Myers-Briggs assessment kind of questions, and it gives you your risk aversion. You shouldn't be over here in Louis Vuitton land. You might be over here in this real estate area where it's safer.
Right.
So understand your risk tolerance and get out your feelings. You can't be emotionally invested in a name. How much money you got, that's your investment, not your emotions around what it is.
But what is your goal on that particular trade?
There you go.
What's your goal?
Yep, there you go. What is your goal? And one thing we learned early when we had our investment group was we asked the question, well, when do we know when to sell the stock? And the advice we were given, and I still use the advice to this day, when it gets to 20% below, when you're at a 20% loss, that's a decision point. Either you're gonna buy more, or you're gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna cut my losses. So, that's one thing you can do. Shout out to Edward Count Slick, yes. Scratch Line Legacy Investment Group, that's our group. Anyway, it's fun, but you have to know when to cash out, the pros and cons of day trading. Somebody asked, how do you manage risk now? How do you manage risk now post your losses? Is that? How do you manage risk? I'm not sure about that question.
Yeah.
If I'm guessing what she's trying to say is like if it's losing and it's going down and you have to plug the hole. If your money's flying out, you have to sell. Just cut your losses.
Yeah, you can cut, or you can buy more depending on how much.
Buy more depending on how you're doing it. Yeah.
How fast the hole is, how big the hole is in the balloon. It may be a moment, So it's Oh, there it is. Okay, so thank you, Devion. I'm gonna say that. We have a lot of comments in it.
Yeah, we do.
It's Cash
and a lot of
App.
Hearts and thumbs up.
Yes, it's Cash App, a safe, legit place to purchase stock. Y'all know Cash App got Bitcoin, and PayPal.
Yes,
has moved into that space as well. Let me tell y'all, PayPal, God, it's a beast.
Yeah,
that's a great. I wasn't gonna make any recommendations. No recommendations. But yeah, PayPal is good. It's a place to start. However, I suggest you open a reputable investment account using a Charles Schwab, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, that type of thing. Cash App, I ain't gonna lie, I do buy some Bitcoin. When it drops out, I throw some money to it. But for my regular accounts, I no longer have Robinhood. The Hood was good to me, but I've exceeded that platform. Once you start getting certain money, you don't want it in the Hood. And I'm calling it the Hood because Robinhood is the Hood. So
it's the Yugo of brokerage companies right now.
Right. It's yes. They don't even make Yugos no more. What we got?
Right, girl, you remember that?
Yeah. So you need to up your game and just open an account and put $50 in it. It's a start. I think people ask a lot of questions about how do I get started? Do you have an investment account? Well, why are we talking? When you get that, you come back and talk to me. So you have to take the steps. Stop talking about it. Take a step. Open an account. Number 2, if you're already there, did you put some money in it? Number 3, if you don't know what to invest in, get a S&P index fund, S&P 500 index fund or something like that. If you like real estate, get a REIT, get a mutual fund, something. Just start. What else? Let's see. Investopedia, Devion. Well, I shouldn't say her name, but she posted in the chat that the couple I was talking about were Christina and Aman from Our Rich Journey. They're Black couple and they retired in Portugal. They're very inspiring. So they I mean, they're a little bit too earthy for my taste. You know, I ain't giving up everything, you know, but their journey, their discipline is inspiring. I mean, I just binged out on videos. They're really dope, you know. Melissa hair is fire, platinum, beautiful. Somebody said, in this choice of cutting on a failing trade, how do you account for a long-term pattern, assuming these aren't leveraged trades? I don't trade, so Nichole.
Trade? Yeah.
Can you ask the question again? How do I account for a long-term pattern of if it continues to decrease or?
Yeah, to fail. He used the word fail. Yeah. In this choice of cutting on a failing trade.
You just chalk it up as a loss and you figure out your next trade. It depends on how, because the options trades that I tend to do are at least 6 months out. Usually, if it's dropping, I'll cash out and just say, I'll find something else to go ahead and build, you know, I'll trade something else and I'll make back what I lost anyway. Like we said earlier, there are so many ways to play the game. I just learned about selling an option against an option you purchased. And I did that for the first time last month. So that was at a loss. And then I said, well, wait, let me see if I can do this. I'm just now learning about it. And so like I think I mentioned earlier, you kind of just pick up things along the way and then you pick and choose what you're going to learn. Some days there's been times that it's just like, well, that's just the loss. You get,
right.
As Melissa said, you don't, there's no emotion behind it. You know, right. It's like, oh shucks, and then you figure out what the next move is going to be.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you definitely get to that point. I want to talk a little bit about the benefit of investment groups. Like I said, we had an investment group. It's no longer in existence right now, and we really together, I think we did so much better together than apart. I actually mirrored a lot of our picks from the group because I was like, well, I'm gonna put that in my portfolio too, you know. But the group having a shared responsibility on the stock picks. I know Melissa's still in a group. What do you think was the best thing about having the investment group?
So once they started doing fractional shares, that opened a whole new world for me. But then it was still those elusive, way out of my budget range stocks, where my $50 plus 10 more $50 buys me an Amazon, a share of Amazon. It was coming together and being able to do bigger purchases was the appeal for me initially. Outside of that, it is a great way to just stay with like-minded people. My investment group folks are having conversations that other folks around me aren't. And you do have to dive in to this. Don't just say you're going, I'm gonna get the Robinhood app and then never hold these conversations. There's no way. You gotta stay plugged in, basically. And the investment group keeps you plugged in and committed. Because when it's just you can say, I'm gonna keep my 50 this month. In an investment group, you're accountable. And it definitely keeps your commitment level where it should be if you're doing long-term investments. So those are the benefits.
And what's the saying? If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with others.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the main thing, I agree with everything Melissa said. The main thing to me was accountability. And the like-minded conversation. It was fun getting together and deciding what we were going to do next. Everybody had their argument as to why we should not do something. So the camaraderie and the accountability.
You guys actually did like a whole weekend together. Didn't I do was that the same investment group?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I came
Yep.
and did
The escape room thing.
the escape room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, the whole weekend. And I mean, it brought most of us very close. The thing is, I'll say the downside. You have different levels of commitment. You know, I'm a big ground rules person. This is what we agreed on. You signed up for this shit and you need to follow it. We're not playing those games. If you're late with your money, you pay the late fee. But you have other people who still want to deal like, but it's me. Can I go late? No, I was just, Nichole, no. I made a lot of people upset. I was like, no,
I'm sure you did.
10%, you're late, you know, so because you have a commitment to other people.
Yeah.
And I think what could have prevented that, if anybody's thinking about starting an investment group, is ask certain questions ahead of time. Like, one, can your ass afford this? Because if you scraping for money, you know, on the quarter when we looking for our money, maybe you're not ready, you know, and it's okay. You can still invest, you know, or do start an investment group on a lower level. The other thing is, you don't have to be, we were formal. So we got incorporated and all this good stuff. You don't have to do that. You can have a group that you just meet and you all do your separate investments, you know, and I think that's what we do. You know, when we touch base every now and then, we'll say, hey, what y'all doing right now? You know, we had some people doing Forex, crypto at one, some doing crypto, and we have some people who tell us, you know, what they're trading and what they're investing in. So you don't have to be formal. It does not take anything to do an informal group. So there was a question on how do you find investment groups. Does the investment group have separate homework assignments? We did. Mm-hmm. We did. Like, it was somebody's responsibility to come up with stocks, you know, on the quarter, you know, what we wanted to invest in, or if we had extra money after we bought what we wanted to buy, then there would be conversations on, well, what else would we like to put more in what we already have, or would we like to purchase something else? So it was a monthly, it was a monthly conversation. So again, like both Nichole and Melissa, it keeps you accountable. Mm-hmm. It keeps you accountable. And again, it was, the formal group was truly a test of integrity. Like,
which is really important. That's that's usually when we're slipping when it comes to your money. When you break down, okay, why am I bleeding out money? It usually has something to do with you not being in integrity, or somehow wanting to slip and slide. And so often we're used to doing that. You need something to teach you some discipline so that you can, you know, keep it on the road.
One of the things that I love about my group, from my previous investment group, it was someone coming in to educate us. It didn't go well, but that was the premise. And the newer one, I was like, well, we each need to be responsible for our education. So we took the specific research guidelines, and every month somebody has to present what they think we should invest in. And you have to present to the whole group. And we have people that know it really well. Then there's me who's in the middle row, and then there's the person who's never even looked at a sheet before. So being able to help that person pull yourself forward. If you're going to do a group, take turns. Do not make the responsibility on one person. You should all be educated on all of it. So be able to research it and sell your idea to your group. Pitch it. It's basically a pitch. We should get this because of that. Do your research. And I love that about my group, because it's somebody new every month. I was mortified, although it was my idea, when it was it was my idea, but I went like fifth. I took like the fifth seat, and I was nervous, but I ended up doing really well. And I got them hooked on SPG. That was one of my first ones I presented. So.
Yep. All right, y'all. Well, it is 8:57. I want to, I mean, y'all know we could talk about this for a long time. I hope everyone got something from it. Keep just open that account. If you don't have an investment account, go ahead and pull the trigger on that. Don't open up an investment account. I wanted to get some to share some of the groups I belong to on Facebook. Has a ton of groups. Clubhouse. Oh my.
Oh God, we forgot about Clubhouse.
Clubhouse. If you ain't on Clubhouse, I mean, these kids are doing. I'm talking about kids like 22. They please put your ego aside and let these youngins take you to church on finance. They are serious. TikTok, Facebook, there's Stock Sisters. I'm in a TSP group for my retirement. Black stocks and stock investors. Sur 10, like I said before, stocks and stilettos. There's so much information out there inside of trading. That is a great one. He does a live every Friday at noon to talk about his trades. And his goal for everybody is, did you make $100 today in the market? You know, so Joel is dope. And he has some classes. And so I'm going to ask Nichole and Melissa what their recommendations are.
Stocks and Stilettos was a great beginning. It's a big pool though. It's a lot of people with a lot of information. Inside of Trading is one of my favorites. And I have like about 6 people on Clubhouse. I'll drop it in this chat once the recording shows up. I'll drop it in there. Clubhouse has some gems, like
I've got some beasts.
Yeah, and they literally you take your notebook on Clubhouse when it's going, and they've done all the research for you.
And they do what you were talking about. They present some of the groups they present and say why they think it's going to go up, and then they'll have people to come back and be like, "Well, I don't agree with you. This is why."
The work is being done for you. You see the pros and cons in real time. And somebody asked, how do you start an investment group? I think you find like-minded people in your circle, and if not, any of the groups that we've named probably has some sort of investment group post in there, and just see if they're doing it again, or ask the admins. I know Stocks and Stilettos has an investment group option. That was my beginning. I'm sure she's a whole lot better at it now than she was, because I was
I heard the
first one. It's not a promotion, and I absolutely love Cassandra, but I was there for the bumpy beginning. However, I'm sure by now she's absolutely improved, but it's all women, so keep that in mind. I'll drop it.
Well, I'm the same. Stocks and Stilettos. I think I've been there since the beginning. I like peeking in and see what people are talking about. And Insider Trading is fun because you get to, people like to post their winnings, their wins for the day. So they keep you motivated and say, oh, I want to get there next. Let me try this. Or, people give their little tips about things. I will say that the podcast that put me over the top, that got me into options, was the Wealthy Investor podcast. And the reason that I like it is because he literally talks about the fact that everybody deserves to invite the money in. And he's not just talking about the stock market. He's talking about switching your mind to a millionaire mentality.
Yep.
And if you just go on there and listen to 2 or 3 podcasts and you're really into it, you'll be hooked and you'll want to learn more on your own. So the Wealthy Investor will be my #1 podcast for everybody.
And I'm going to listen to it my doggone self. Thank you.
Immediately.
Well. I saw a lot of you in the chat. I hope you learned something.
And please drop in your takeaway. So if you got a takeaway, drop it in the chat. What did you get from today's show?
Yeah, we're interested in it. Thank you for joining us. I want to say thank you. Y'all don't know these are my sisters too. So Nichole and Melissa, we tend to bring people on here that we love, because we know it's going to be a real conversation. We just regular women. We fine, but we regular. Not you know.
Sexy as shit, but we regular.
But we regular, right? Just like you. We just out here, squirrels trying to get some nuts around here too. And we just sharing what we got. I hope my goal was to motivate you. Yes. So please, if you were motivated, I want to see people say, Paz, I opened my investment account. Paz, I pulled the trigger on the stock. Something. Let us know how you're doing. But please stop being scared.
Mm-hmm.
Scared money don't make no money. We know that it takes risk, a certain amount of risk to do this. And you have extra because we buy bullshit all the time. So don't even stop saying you don't have
bullshit yesterday.
Right. We buy bullshit all the time. It's okay. Just take one day and don't buy bullshit and invest it. So you have it. You have it. You have it. And there, if you really, really don't believe you have it, then side hustle. There's a million ways to make money around this piece. Go on and, deliver some groceries or something. I don't know, some fruits, some vegetables. I don't know what y'all do, but there are ways to make extra money. So again, I hope we inspired you. We are real women talking real shit. This is Money Moves with Paz. We'll be back. This is a regular segment. I don't know what we're gonna talk about the next time, but it's gonna be about money. And Sonia, tell them what we have coming up next.
It's gonna be hot. Yes. So just as a reminder, we go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for No Brow Wednesday, where we let our girls loose and we have a real fucking ass conversation. Hello. So, because we ain't about playing up in here. This is about, me and Paz talk about how when we get together, we have some serious ass. Like, damn, we should be recording this right now. Because it's always juicy as fuck. And that's why we really come live to you guys, because we know that somebody gets to be getting this along with the way that we're getting this. Next Wednesday on the 3rd, we will be having our Ask a Grown Ass Woman segment, where we are going to be talking about, are we loyal to a fault? Black women in relationships. So we're going to dissect that and take a look at what's going on there. Every first Wednesday of the month, we have Ask a Grown Ass Woman or Ask Your Daddy. It alternates every other month. Every second Wednesday of the month, we do Cocktails with a Sexologist. And as Paz just said, every fourth Wednesday, we are doing Money Moves with Paz. So you want to make sure you do not miss when we go live. Bookmark our link tree, because the link tree has all of the information. You will find everything. And we're going to start putting the links from our guests in the link tree too, so you can find their information there. Join the WhatsApp so that you get a link when we go live, and also like our Facebook page and invite your friends. We are at 9. What is it? 9? I've started to put it
906 or something.
906. We had 906, almost at 1,000, and y'all saw those people I shouted out that have joined since July, and we have a ton of people that are coming in. So we all get to win. This is about winning. What we dropping shit, talking shit, dropping shit, and handling shit. And so that's why we coming to you. So with that said, we can go ahead.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. We take us out of here.
Thank you. On out.
Yes.
Fresh out the oven, straight to the bank. Bentayga smelling like bank. Seats, somebody died on them. Kitty looking like somebody cried on it. Ooh, what you looking at? What you looking at? Body like cinnamon roll, icing on the top.